Imagine waking up each day free from the harsh voice of self-doubt that often echoes in our minds. Today, let's embark on a journey to silence that inner critic using the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Imagine Marcus Aurelius himself telling you, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." This thought challenges us to rise above the external noise and look inward, a practice that is more crucial now than ever. In a world where self-esteem is constantly battered by online comparisons and societal pressures, the teachings of Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus provide a roadmap to reclaiming inner strength. What if the next time you faced criticism, you could respond with calm assurance instead of self-criticism? Through this video, we'll explore the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control, the power of accepting our imperfections, and the liberating concept of living in accordance with nature. Uncover how these practices can transform your approach to self-esteem. You'll learn not only how to quiet that inner criticism, but also how to boost your self-worth with practical steps rooted in ancient wisdom. So, stay with us as we delve into the heart of Stoicism and discover the tools to transform the way you view yourself. Now turning to the Stoic principle known as the Dichotomy of Control, imagine you're at work. You've just received criticism from a colleague, and immediately a whirlwind of negative self-talk begins to take over. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but here's where Stoicism offers a guiding hand. Epictetus, a central figure in Stoicism, teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts and reactions, while letting go of what we cannot, like others' opinions or actions. The wisdom of the Stoics encourages us to redirect our energy towards managing our internal responses instead of the uncontrollable external events swirling around us. Seneca famously said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This quote powerfully highlights how our minds often amplify situations, creating stress that is frequently unfounded. So how do we harness this Stoic insight in our daily lives? Let's delve deeper. When we face criticism or adversity, our initial emotional response might be defensive or self-critical. However, by consciously choosing to focus on how we react rather than what is said or done to us, we can silence the inner critic that often exaggerates our flaws. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice and patience, but it can significantly transform our self-esteem. Consider Epictetus himself, a slave who rose to become one of the most respected philosophers of his time. Despite the severe adversities he faced, Epictetus exemplified the resilience and tranquility that comes from controlling one's reaction to circumstances rather than the circumstances themselves. His life is a testament to the power of the dichotomy of control. Reflect on your everyday experiences. How much time and energy do you spend worrying about things you cannot change? By redirecting this effort toward managing your reactions, you not only quiet the critic but also foster a sense of peace and self-worth that is grounded in the reality of what you can truly influence. As the next challenge unfolds in our journey through Stoicism, we will explore how embracing imperfections can further dismantle the power of the inner critic. Stay with us as we continue to uncover the wisdom of the Stoics and learn how these ancient principles can enhance our modern lives. With the next phase of the journey in sight, we turn to a transformative Stoic practice known as negative visualization. Picture this, an artist sitting before a blank canvas, fearing that their masterpiece might turn into a failure even before the first stroke. This mental rehearsal, rather than being a harbinger of doom, serves as a powerful tool for resilience in Stoicism. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, advocated for this practice, emphasizing that by envisaging potential challenges or setbacks, we rob them of their sting. In his own words, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. This quote encapsulates the essence of negative visualization, which is not about being pessimistic, but about preparing ourselves to face adversity without fear. When we intentionally consider the worst possible outcomes, we begin to dismantle the fear that often fuels our inner critic. By embracing this fear rather than avoiding it, we reduce its power and slowly fortify our resilience. This doesn't mean we dwell on negativity. Instead, we use it as a creative exercise to build mental fortitude. Seneca himself often advised his friend Lucilius to reflect on potential adversities as a way to strengthen his resolve. This practice encourages us to face our fears head-on, leading to a profound reduction in anxiety and self-doubt. Think about the things you fear most in your life. What are the worst-case scenarios that often haunt your thoughts? By imagining these situations not as inevitable catastrophes but as possibilities, you remove their ability to unsettle you unexpectedly. This mental preparation helps us remain calm and composed when faced with real challenges, silencing the inner critic who often whispers that we are unprepared or inadequate. It's important to remember that negative visualization is not an invitation to pessimism but a strategic tool to fortify the mind. As we harness this technique, we learn to anticipate and navigate life's hurdles with a sense of peace and self-assurance. Consider the possible outcomes you're currently afraid of and ask yourself how anticipating these could actually minimize their impact. As we continue our exploration of Stoic wisdom, this practice of negative visualization will pave the way to a heightened state of mental resilience, preparing us for the next insights in our journey towards quieting the inner critic. Stay with us as we delve deeper into how accepting imperfections can further bolster our self-esteem through the lens of Stoicism. As the next challenge unfolds, consider how often you find yourself being your own harshest critic. Stoicism teaches us the wisdom of embracing our imperfections as an inherent part of human nature. This idea, championed by the likes of Epictetus, serves as a potent antidote to the negative self-talk that often hampers our self-esteem. Epictetus famously said, "What is no longer possible must be accepted," suggesting that rather than battling against our limitations, we should accept them as part of our existence. This acceptance is not about complacency. It's a recognition that silences the inner critic by shedding the burden of unrealistic expectations. When we accept our imperfections, we allow ourselves to view them as opportunities for learning and growth. Embracing flaws doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement. Rather, it means acknowledging where we stand today and using it as a foundation for development. Marcus Aurelius, another revered Stoic philosopher, provides a compelling example of this approach. In his writings, he frequently reflected on his personal limitations, recognizing that these were merely stepping stones on his path to becoming a better version of himself. Think about a time when you judged yourself harshly. What did you learn from that experience? By turning our perceived weaknesses into learning moments, we can use them to propel us forward. This shift in mindset from self-criticism to self-compassion can reduce the volume of the inner critic's voice and, in turn, boost our self-esteem. Accepting imperfections teaches us to be kinder to ourselves. It encourages a gentle self-reflection where we consider how our pursuit of perfection might actually be unnecessarily harsh. This doesn't mean we abandon ambition. Rather, it allows us to pursue our goals with a healthier, more balanced perspective. Imagine how freeing it could feel to approach your life and ambitions with such a mindset, one that recognizes the value in imperfection and sees it as an integral part of the human experience. By understanding and accepting our imperfections, we move towards a more grounded and authentic sense of self. This acceptance can transform our inner dialogue from one focused on criticism to one that encourages personal growth. Reflect on your own imperfections and ask yourself how embracing them might enhance your self-esteem. As we continue to explore Stoic insights, this acceptance sets the stage for loving what happens in life, or Amor Fati, which we will delve into next on our journey to quiet the inner critic. Moving forward, imagine embracing every moment in life, including failures, as necessary steps on your journey. This brings us to the Stoic principle of Amor Fati, or love of fate. It's a powerful concept that teaches us to accept and appreciate everything that happens. Marcus Aurelius articulated this beautifully when he advised to love only what happens. What was meant to happen? This mindset invites us to celebrate the entirety of our experiences, even those that may seem unfavorable at first glance. Embracing this principle helps dismantle the stronghold of the inner critic. When we accept that every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, is part of a greater plan, we start to view challenges not as barriers, but as crucial components of our personal development. Consider historical figures who have thrived despite adversity. These individuals did not lament their circumstances. Instead, they embraced them, understanding that each setback was a stepping stone towards their greater achievements. By adopting Amor Fati, we dissolve the critic's powers of judgment and fault-finding, transforming them into opportunities for growth and resilience. By seeing every event as a valuable piece of our life puzzle, we foster a mindset that is resilient and adaptable. This outlook requires us to reconsider failure and criticism. Rather than identifying them as hindrances, they become integral parts of our narrative, necessary for our evolution and learning. With this understanding, self-worth is redefined. We are no longer at the mercy of an inner voice that seeks to undermine our confidence. Instead, we embrace our story as it unfolds, allowing self-esteem to grow from a foundation of trust and acceptance. Reflect on how such an attitude could influence your perspective. How might embracing everything life offers without judgment enhance your perception of self-worth? This shift in thinking can liberate us from the paralyzing grip of what could have been, focusing instead on the beauty of what is. As we continue, we'll explore the practice of journaling and self-reflection, tools that can further guide us on this path to silencing the inner critic. Now turning to the practice of journaling and self-reflection, picture yourself at the end of a busy day. You sit quietly, reflecting on your challenges and achievements, using this moment to deepen your understanding of yourself. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, often advocated for this practice as a means to cultivate self-awareness. He once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This insight emphasizes the power of our internal dialogue in shaping our reality. Journaling, therefore, serves as a vital tool in silencing the inner critic. By putting our thoughts on paper, we can start to identify patterns and beliefs that may not serve us well. These daily reflections provide a record of your thoughts, allowing you to observe recurring themes or negative self-talk that might otherwise go unnoticed. As you write, you may uncover insights into why certain situations trigger self-doubt or negativity. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in counteracting them. Through consistent practice, you gain clarity and a more balanced perspective on your actions and decisions. Consider Marcus Aurelius himself, who frequently reflected upon his own thoughts and behaviors. His famous work, Meditations, is essentially a collection of his personal reflections, a journal that continues to inspire many with its wisdom. By examining his own life, Marcus could align his actions with his values, ensuring that his thoughts did not stray into criticism but remained focused on growth and understanding. Following Marcus's example, dedicate a few minutes each day to jot down your experiences. You might reflect on a moment of self-doubt and rewrite that narrative positively, reinforcing the constructive aspects of your day. Perhaps you'll notice that what seemed like a failure was actually a learning opportunity. Over time, these exercises help reframe your internal dialogue, replacing the voice of the critic with one of compassion and encouragement. Think about how integrating this practice into your routine could impact your self-esteem. How might acknowledging your progress rather than only your shortcomings change your self-perception? As you engage in regular self-reflection, you cultivate a mindset that is less influenced by external judgments and more grounded in self-awareness and acceptance. With each entry, you move closer to a version of yourself that is resilient and empowered. This practice not only silences the inner critic, but also enhances your overall well-being by fostering a deep connection to who you truly are. Journaling is a powerful step in your journey toward unconditional self-acceptance, inviting peace and confidence to flourish from within. As the sun rises on the next chapter, we'll delve into the Stoic insight of detachment from opinions, a key concept to further neutralize the critical inner voice. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's delve into the Stoic insight of detachment from opinions. Picture a time when you received a harsh opinion from someone and how it negatively impacted your self-esteem. Stoicism teaches us to detach from others' opinions, freeing us from the burden of seeking external validation. Epictetus, another esteemed Stoic philosopher, reminds us that, if you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. This profound insight helps us realize that opinions are merely reflections of others' perceptions, not definitive truths about our worth. Understanding that others' views do not define us is paramount in silencing our inner critic. When we internalize this notion, we can focus more on our core values and beliefs rather than being swayed by fluctuating external judgments. This detachment allows us to maintain a stable sense of self-worth, irrespective of others' assessments. Imagine the freedom in acknowledging your mistakes without fear of judgment, knowing that your value is inherent and not reliant on external approval. Consider Socrates, who was famously indifferent to public opinion. He remained steadfast in his pursuit of truth and virtue, caring little for how others perceived his actions. This indifference empowered him to live authentically and make choices aligned with his principles. Similarly, when we learn to detach from others' opinions, we cultivate resilience against our inner critic's negative chatter. This resilience fosters a mindset that values personal growth over external approval. By embracing this Stoic practice, you allow yourself to thrive in authenticity. You create a personal space where your self-esteem grows from the inside out, untouched by the whims of others. Doing so nurtures an environment where self-compassion and understanding replace criticism and doubt. As you adopt this perspective, reflective questions become crucial tools. Ask yourself, whose opinions have you allowed to shape your self-esteem and why? How might releasing these influences change your perception of self-worth? As we explore these insights, you might begin to see the power in living a life where your actions align with your values, not others' expectations. Detachment from opinions not only silences the inner critic, but also anchors your self-esteem in a solid foundation of self-awareness and acceptance. With each decision made from this mindset, you reinforce your resilience and sense of inner peace. As the journey continues, we'll explore how living in accordance with nature can further empower us to silence the inner critic and boost self-esteem, creating a harmonious balance between our internal and external worlds. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's transition into the empowering Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. Imagine a life where your actions seamlessly align with your authentic self, unaffected by the conflicting expectations of the outside world. The Stoics believed that living according to nature is key to realizing our intrinsic value, allowing us to embrace our true potential while silencing the inner critic. As Epictetus wisely noted, Nature hath given men one tongue but two ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. This highlights the importance of listening to our inner voice and recognizing our unique abilities and limitations rather than conforming to external pressures. Aligning with nature invites us to appreciate who we truly are, embracing both our strengths and imperfections. It challenges us to accept ourselves without judgment, fostering a mindset where self-esteem is rooted in self-awareness and acceptance rather than external validation. Consider how Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected deeply on nature and its role in guiding one's life. By understanding and accepting our place in the grand tapestry of existence, we find peace and clarity, reducing the influence of the inner critic that often thrives on self-doubt and criticism. Imagine the serenity of knowing that your worth isn't contingent on achieving perfection, but rather on recognizing and nurturing your natural talents. This perspective encourages us to celebrate progress, no matter how small, over the relentless pursuit of flawlessness. When we align our actions with our true nature, we create a harmonious balance between our internal goals and external realities, fostering a genuine sense of fulfillment. By embodying this Stoic insight, you open doors to personal exploration and growth. You invite a deeper understanding of your unique journey, transforming self-doubt into self-discovery. Reflect on how aligning with your true nature might enhance your self-esteem. What natural abilities can you focus on to foster a sense of achievement and contentment? How might acknowledging and accepting your limitations liberate you from the constraints of societal expectations? As we embrace the Stoic practice of living in accordance with nature, we cultivate an environment where our self-esteem is nurtured from within. Our worth becomes a reflection of our authentic selves, independent of the ever-changing opinions and judgments of others. In this state of alignment, we find the strength to silence the inner critic, allowing us to flourish with confidence and tranquility. As we continue to explore Stoic insights, let's prepare to delve into how the practice of journaling and self-reflection can further empower us to maintain inner harmony and amplify self-esteem. Now turning to the transformative practice of journaling and self-reflection, consider the powerful impact that documenting your thoughts and experiences can have on nurturing self-awareness and silencing the inner critic. Picture ending your day by taking a moment to reflect on both the challenges and triumphs you have encountered. This practice, championed by Marcus Aurelius, serves as a tool for deeper introspection and understanding, allowing us to identify thought patterns that may undermine self-esteem. Marcus Aurelius, known for his work, Meditations, exemplifies the profound benefits of journaling. Through his reflections, he cultivated a keen awareness of his thoughts and emotions, guiding his actions with clarity and certainty. This process of writing can help us confront and counteract our inner critic by making us more conscious of our thought processes. As Marcus Aurelius wisely remarked, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By regularly engaging in journaling, we begin to observe how our internal dialogue shapes our perception of ourselves and the world around us. This heightened awareness empowers us to challenge negative self-talk and replace it with more constructive narratives. To initiate this practice, consider setting aside a few minutes each day to jot down whatever is on your mind. There is no need for elaborate prose or detailed analysis. Rather, the goal is to capture the essence of your thoughts and feelings in that moment. Over time, this collection of reflections can reveal patterns and insights that contribute to personal growth and self-esteem enhancement. Reflect on experiences that trigger self-doubt or feelings of inadequacy. What thoughts arise during these moments, and how do they influence your self-worth? By identifying these patterns, we gain the ability to reframe and reinterpret them, reducing their hold over us. Journaling not only helps in silencing the inner critic, but also fosters gratitude and self-compassion. It provides a space to acknowledge our achievements, however small, and express appreciation for the progress made. This shift in focus from criticism to appreciation fosters a positive mindset, enhancing our overall well-being. As you incorporate journaling into your routine, you embark on a journey of self-discovery where each pen stroke becomes a step toward inner harmony. Consider how this practice might unveil new perspectives on situations that once seemed daunting. With each reflection, you gain clarity and confidence, reinforcing your intrinsic value and silencing the critic that once loomed so large. As we delve deeper into Stoic practices, let's explore how detaching from the opinions of others can further bolster our self-esteem and fortify our inner peace. Moving forward, let's consider the profound impact of detaching from the opinions of others, a concept deeply explored by Epictetus. Picture a moment when someone's words have bruised your sense of self-worth, echoing in your mind as if they are the ultimate truth. In Stoicism, we learn that such opinions are external and do not truly define who we are. Epictetus reminds us that understanding this separation is essential for inner peace and self-esteem. By focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts and reactions, we liberate ourselves from the undue weight of other people's judgments. The reality is that we cannot control what others think or say, but we can control how we respond. Instead of allowing their opinions to dictate our self-worth, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate internal values that become our true source of validation and confidence. This shift from external validation to inner value can be transformative, silencing the inner critic that thrives on external judgments. Imagine this as turning down the volume on a radio, muting the noise of criticism to focus on the more harmonious tones of self-belief. In practice, this means actively questioning the validity and importance of others' opinions. Ask yourself, does this opinion truly reflect my abilities, or is it just someone else's perspective? How much power do I want to give to this thought? By engaging with these questions, you create a mental buffer, allowing space for your own self-affirmations to grow stronger. Reflect on Socrates' ability to remain indifferent to popular opinion and focus instead on his pursuit of wisdom and virtue. His legacy demonstrates the strength found in living authentically, guided by one's own principles rather than the fluctuating views of others. This principle can be applied in our lives by setting clear personal values and goals that serve as anchors amidst the shifting tides of public perception. By aligning our actions with these values, we create a sturdy framework that supports self-esteem regardless of external pressures. Over time, this practice of detachment fosters resilience and a deep-seated sense of self-worth that is not easily swayed by criticism or praise. It invites us to live in accordance with our authentic selves and recognize our inherent worth beyond societal labels or assessments. As we continue to explore Stoic teachings, consider how aligning with your true nature might enhance your self-esteem. By living authentically and embracing your unique path, you cultivate an unwavering sense of self that remains steadfast in the face of life's challenges. So, how can aligning with your true nature boost your self-esteem? When you honor your true self, you ground your confidence in a foundation that is unique to you, undisturbed by the fleeting opinions of others. Now turning to another powerful Stoic practice, let's explore the concept of the view from above. Imagine yourself zooming out from the immediate problems surrounding you, much like a camera lens pulling back to reveal a grand landscape. This meditative exercise, endorsed by Marcus Aurelius, invites us to step back and view our lives from a broader perspective. By doing so, we can lessen the grip of the inner critic that thrives on nitpicking and self-doubt. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This profound insight encourages us to reflect on our actions within the context of the vast expanse of time and space. When we see ourselves as part of a larger tapestry, the petty criticisms and insecurities that once seemed overwhelming begin to lose their significance. By shifting focus from the minute details to the grand scheme of things, the inner critic's voice diminishes. Perspective taking is at the heart of this practice. It asks us to rise above the daily grind and consider our place within the cosmos. This shift not only quiets self-critical thoughts, but also fosters a sense of interconnectedness with the world around us. Picture Marcus Aurelius himself reflecting on his duties and challenges not just as a ruler, but as a part of the universe's grand narrative. It's in this expansive view that we find solace and clarity. So, how does this perspective alter your perception of self-worth? By seeing the bigger picture, we recognize that our worth is not defined by transient failures or criticisms. Rather, it's grounded in our ongoing contribution to the greater whole. This realization can profoundly boost self-esteem as we appreciate our unique role in the universe. The view from above encourages us to embrace our place in the world with humility and gratitude, knowing that our struggles and achievements are threads in a much larger fabric. Engaging in this practice regularly can help us feel more at peace with ourselves, reducing the power of the inner critic that feeds on narrow, short-term views. As you incorporate the view from above into your daily life, consider how it might transform the way you relate to your own challenges. By gaining perspective, you nurture a resilient sense of self that stands strong amidst life's fluctuations. Moving forward, let's delve into the importance of equanimity in Stoicism, especially when faced with adversity and self-doubt. Picture a Stoic maintaining their calm during a tumultuous storm of inner criticism, much like a lighthouse standing unyielding in crashing waves. This mental calmness or equanimity is not just a desirable state, it's central to Stoic practice. Seneca eloquently reminds us that uncertainty is the refuge of hope. In moments of doubt, maintaining equanimity helps silence the inner critic, enabling us to transform uncertainty into opportunities for growth rather than despair. The essence of this principle lies in developing and sustaining inner peace, irrespective of external events. To truly understand equanimity's power, consider the historical example of Cato, renowned amongst Stoics for his unwavering calmness in the face of political turmoil. Amidst chaos and pressure, Cato exhibited steadfast tranquility, reflecting the Stoic ideal of emotional resilience. His composure under stress showcases how equanimity can serve as a bulwark against the relentless whispers of self-doubt. Equanimity empowers us to remain composed and focused, turning down the volume on internal criticisms that otherwise dominate our mental landscape. But how can we consciously cultivate such calmness in our own lives? It begins with accepting that while we cannot control circumstances, we can control our response to them. By fostering a mindset anchored in the present moment, we fortify our emotional resilience. This shift in perspective allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and perseverance. The practice of equanimity encourages us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them, creating space for clearer judgment and a more balanced view of ourselves and our capabilities. Reflect on how the ability to maintain calm in adversity can enhance your self-esteem. When we learn to face challenges with equanimity, we build confidence in our ability to handle life's unpredictabilities. This resilience contributes to a healthier self-image as we perceive ourselves as capable and composed individuals, regardless of external chaos. Equanimity aligns with the Stoic belief that true power stems not from altering the world around us but mastering our inner world. As you explore this principle further, consider how incorporating equanimity into your daily routine might transform your responses to both minor inconveniences and major life challenges. By embracing this Stoic insight, you open the door to a more serene, confident, and self-assured version of yourself. Equanimity, then, becomes not just a practice but a way of living that enriches your journey through the highs and lows of life. Now turning to the concept of practicing indifference to external events, imagine being the recipient of harsh criticism. Instead of reacting with self-doubt or defensiveness, you respond with a calm indifference. This attitude is what Stoics refer to as apatheia, a practice of emotional detachment that enables us to handle external situations without being overwhelmed by them. Epictetus wisely said, "Who then is invincible? The one who cannot be upset by anything outside their reasoned choice." This mindset encourages us to focus on what truly matters, our internal values and reasoned choices, while letting go of uncontrollable external factors. Practicing indifference reshapes our interactions with the world, reducing the power external events hold over our self-perception. It moves the locus of validation from outside ourselves to within, aligning closely with Stoic teachings. By understanding the difference between internal values and external pressures, we can better navigate life's uncertainties with a balanced mindset. This practice teaches us to distinguish between what we can control, our own actions and reactions, and what we cannot, such as others' opinions and judgments. Embracing this distinction silences the inner critic, as we no longer derive our worth from external validation. Consider the teachings of Epictetus, who emphasized maintaining internal freedom. He championed the idea that our perceptions and judgments should remain impervious to outside influence. By focusing on cultivating an inner dialogue that values reason over external validation, we nurture an inner fortress of resilience. This mental fortitude serves as a shield against the inner critic, preventing it from undermining our self-esteem. Through these teachings, we learn to respond to the world with measured calmness, protecting our serenity against the storms of external disapproval. Reflect on how practicing indifference to external judgments can enhance your self-esteem. By prioritizing internal values over external approval, you affirm your self-worth independently of others' opinions. This shift not only builds resilience but also encourages a more authentic and grounded self-image. As we embrace our own values, we become less susceptible to the whims of outside criticism, empowering ourselves to live more freely and confidently. With this practice, we step into a space where self-esteem is built on the foundation of internal conviction rather than the fleeting opinions of others. This approach aligns with the Stoic belief that true invincibility lies in our ability to remain unaffected by external circumstances, focusing instead on nurturing our inner world. Moving forward, let's delve into the power of present moment awareness, an essential Stoic insight that can profoundly silence the inner critic. Picture this: being fully immersed in the present, free from the chains of past regrets or future anxieties. This is where true peace resides. The Stoic approach to mindfulness is not just about being aware of your environment, but about centering your entire being in the current moment, allowing you to break free from the negativity that often distorts our self-image. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, captured this beautifully when he said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do. Only what you do." This quote underlines a powerful truth. When we focus on our actions in the here and now, we foster a sense of calm and control that quiets the inner critic. By shifting our attention to the present, we can strip away the layers of anxiety and self-doubt that accumulate from worrying about the opinions of others or the uncertainties of the future. Living in the moment involves fully engaging with whatever you are doing right now, whether it is listening to someone speak, completing a task, or even taking a quiet moment for yourself. This practice not only quells negative thoughts but also enhances our appreciation for life's simple joys, strengthening our self-esteem with each present focused action. The inner critic thrives on distraction and unfocused thinking. By practicing present moment awareness, you diminish its power over your mind, replacing it with clarity and purpose. Consider the teachings of Epictetus, who advocated for present moment awareness as a cornerstone of inner peace. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we make a conscious choice to redirect our energies toward what matters most, our actions and attitudes in the current moment. Epictetus encouraged an active engagement with life, where each moment is an opportunity to reaffirm our values and strengthen our inner resolve. Reflect on your own experiences. How often do you find yourself consumed with thoughts of what has been or what might be, rather than what is? Shifting your focus to the present offers a reprieve from this cycle, inviting a sense of stability and self-assuredness. By living in the now, you empower yourself to build a self-esteem that does not rely on external validation or imagined futures, but rests instead on the solid foundation of your present actions and intentions. Incorporate this Stoic practice into your daily routine and observe how it transforms your perspective. Are you more at peace when you concentrate on the task at hand? Do you feel more in tune with your true self? The power of being present lies in its ability to foster an authentic connection with yourself, allowing your true value to shine through unimpeded by the noise of self-criticism. As you journey further into this practice, notice how your self-esteem naturally flourishes, rooted firmly in the rich soil of the present moment. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us explore the Stoic Principle of Eudaimonia, a concept that fundamentally redefines how we approach life and silence the inner critic. Imagine a life not driven by the pursuit of fleeting happiness, but rather by the aspiration to flourish in every aspect of existence. This is what the Stoics referred to as eudaimonia, a state of being that embodies a life well lived through growth and virtue. In the words of Seneca, happiness is not the goal, but the byproduct of a life well lived. This perspective teaches us that happiness emerges naturally when we focus on the quality and purpose of our lives, rather than the superficial pursuit of pleasure. Eudaimonia challenges us to reconsider what it means to lead a fulfilling life. Instead of chasing temporary moments of happiness, the Stoic approach encourages us to cultivate virtues and live in accordance with our true nature. By doing so, we grow into the best versions of ourselves, embracing resilience, wisdom, courage, and other virtues that contribute to a meaningful existence. This shift from seeking happiness to thriving through virtue helps us quiet the inner critic by reducing the obsession with perfection and societal standards of success. Consider the stories of Stoic philosophers who exemplified this principle in their lives. Take Marcus Aurelius, who devoted himself to personal growth and virtue within the complex demands of leadership. Despite the challenges of his reign, Marcus focused not on the outcomes but on living virtuously and dutifully. His meditations reflect a constant striving towards eudaimonia, serving as a testament to the power of focusing on growth rather than external definitions of success. In seeking eudaimonia, we redirect our energies towards long-term fulfillment rather than momentary pleasure. This involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, understanding that true flourishing requires effort, reflection, and sometimes discomfort. The inner critic, which often fixates on perfection and immediate gratification, loses its grip when we embrace the larger picture of a life committed to virtue and growth. Reflect on this approach in your own life. How often do you find yourself measuring success by transient moments of happiness? By shifting your focus to personal growth and virtue, you can build a self-esteem rooted in authenticity and resilience. This mindset empowers you to evaluate your life not by the fluctuating tides of external validation, but by the steady progress of your inner development. Embracing eudaimonia invites you to redefine your life's objectives, encouraging a deeper connection with your true self and your potential. As you integrate this Stoic principle, notice how it transforms your perspective, enriching your journey with purpose and silencing the harsh judgments of your inner critic. By seeking to flourish rather than simply be happy, you discover a profound sense of self-worth that endures beyond life's temporary ups and downs. Now turning to the transformative power of gratitude, we find a practice that Stoics have long revered for its profound impact on the human spirit. Imagine encountering life's storms not with fear or frustration, but with a heart open to the lessons they impart. In the Stoic tradition, gratitude is not merely a response to favorable circumstances, but a conscious shift from criticism towards appreciation. As Epictetus wisely observed, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This perspective encourages us to focus on what we have, transforming our outlook and silencing the persistent voice of the inner critic. Gratitude, when practiced intentionally, becomes a powerful tool for fostering a positive mindset. It shifts our attention from perceived deficiencies to the abundance surrounding us. By regularly acknowledging the value in our everyday experiences, we create a buffer against the negative self-talk that often arises from unmet desires or expectations. Consider how this practice can reshape daily life. Instead of succumbing to the inner critic's focus on what is lacking, we can rejoice in the simple pleasures and achievements we often take for granted. Think about the Stoics who found gratitude in the mere act of witnessing a sunrise, appreciating the warmth of a fire, or savoring a modest meal. Such instances underscore the importance of recognizing what truly brings contentment. By embracing gratitude for life's essentials, they reinforce their capacity to face challenges with equanimity and grace. This practice helped them maintain inner peace despite external turmoil, proving that gratitude is not just an emotional state but a deliberate choice. Reflect on how implementing daily gratitude practices can enhance your self-esteem. Start by identifying 3 things you're grateful for each day, focusing on the aspects of life that uplift and sustain you. This simple exercise trains your mind to search for the positive, gradually quieting the inner critic's voice. Over time, you'll notice a shift in your perspective, where appreciation becomes second nature and self-criticism fades into the background. In cultivating gratitude, we engage in a profound act of self-renewal. We acknowledge the richness of our lives and the strength built through adversity, fostering a self-esteem that is resilient and genuine. As you practice gratitude, consider how it influences your sense of self-worth. How does this shift affect the way you perceive challenges? By adopting this Stoic insight, you invite a deeper connection to your own potential, embracing a mindset that redefines the boundaries of your inner dialogue. As we continue to explore Stoic practices, let gratitude be the foundation upon which you build a life of tranquility and fulfillment. Moving forward, let us delve into the transformative practice of identifying role models and virtuous exemplars within the Stoic tradition. Imagine emulating a person who embodies tranquility and wisdom, whose presence alone uplifts and inspires. The Stoics place great value on learning from those who exemplify the virtues they cherish. As Seneca wisely advised, choose someone whose way of life as well as words, and whose very face is an inspiration, whose spirit has improved your own. This insight highlights the power of role models to guide us in overcoming self-doubt, offering tangible examples of how to live with integrity and purpose. Role models serve as living illustrations of Stoic values and can profoundly influence our journey towards self-improvement. By observing their actions and internalizing their teachings, we gain clarity on how to apply Stoic principles in our own lives. These figures embody qualities such as courage, wisdom, and equanimity, providing a blueprint for how we might navigate our challenges with grace and fortitude. Consider the historical example of Cato the Younger, renowned for his unwavering commitment to principle and courage in the face of adversity. His steadfastness in the political arena demonstrated the power of living according to one's values regardless of external pressures. In identifying personal heroes, we connect with figures who resonate with our own aspirations and values. These role models may vary from fellow Stoics like Marcus Aurelius or modern figures who embody Stoic principles in their lives. The key is to choose individuals whose lives reflect the virtues we seek to cultivate, providing both inspiration and practical guidance. As we study their lives, we learn not only from their successes but also from their mistakes, gaining a rounded understanding of what it means to live virtuously. Reflect on who inspires you to be the best version of yourself. Is it someone from the past, a family member, or a contemporary figure who lives with authenticity and purpose? By aligning our actions with the examples set by our role models, we take meaningful steps toward silencing the inner critic. We draw strength from their courage, learn from their wisdom, and adopt their resilience as our own. The practice of emulating virtuous exemplars thus becomes a powerful tool in building self-esteem, as it encourages us to strive toward the ideals we admire. By integrating this Stoic practice into your life, you cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and direction. Embracing the virtues of admired individuals offers a pathway to personal growth and confidence. As the next phase of our Stoic exploration continues, consider how these role models can influence your journey, expanding your capacity for resilience and self-worth. As the next phase of our journey unfolds, we encounter the Stoic insight of mind over mood. Imagine having the ability to steer your thoughts to elevate your mood and dismiss the relentless inner critic. Stoicism, after all, places great emphasis on rational thinking as a tool to master emotions. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius guides us here with his timeless reminder: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This profound insight underscores the essential practice of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, and using this focus to boost our self-esteem. Harnessing rational thought involves recognizing when emotions threaten to overwhelm our logic. It's about pausing, reflecting, and redirecting our mental energy from emotional reactions to logical responses. This practice requires consistent mindfulness as it challenges us to evaluate our habitual thought patterns. Are they constructive? Do they serve our long-term well-being? Through rational assessment, we gain the clarity needed to reshape these patterns, turning self-criticism into constructive self-reflection. Consider the teachings of Epictetus, who emphasized self-awareness through rational assessment. He encouraged his followers to scrutinize their thoughts objectively, much like a scientist examines evidence. By distancing ourselves from our immediate emotional responses, we can observe our thoughts as external events separate from our identity and self-worth. This detachment allows us to challenge negative self-talk, replacing it with a more balanced and rational perspective. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I always mess things up," pause to evaluate this thought. Is it based on facts, or is it an exaggeration of a singular event? By shifting focus to more accurate assessments, such as, "This time I made a mistake, but I've learned from it," we foster a healthier self-perception. This cognitive restructuring diminishes the voice of the inner critic and nurtures a more resilient mindset. Rational thinking, therefore, serves as a bridge to self-compassion. It empowers us to question unfounded beliefs and to cultivate a narrative that supports rather than undermines our self-worth. As you engage with this practice, ask yourself, how can rational thinking reframe my self-perception? In what ways can I cultivate clarity and understanding amidst emotional turmoil? By grounding ourselves in rational thought, we not only combat the inner critic but also gain a clearer, more empowering view of our capabilities. This Stoic approach to mind over mood becomes a transformative tool, enriching our journey towards self-esteem and emotional resilience. As we continue exploring Stoic principles, consider how this practice of cultivating a rational mindset can be integrated into daily life, creating a foundation for enduring personal growth and inner peace. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's explore the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. Picture a scenario where you willingly step into discomfort, not as a punishment, but as a strategy to enhance your self-awareness and resilience. This approach, grounded in Stoic philosophy, is about deliberately choosing to endure minor hardships to fortify our mental strength. It's a practice that builds resilience against the ever-present inner critic. Stoic thinkers such as Epictetus remind us that we must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared. This wisdom underlines the importance of readiness through adversity. By embracing voluntary discomfort, we prepare ourselves for life's inevitable challenges, nipping the critic's fears in the bud. Think of it as a mental workout. Just as physical exercise strengthens our bodies, facing discomfort bolsters our mind's endurance. It's about facing small, manageable challenges intentionally to cultivate the fortitude to handle larger obstacles with grace. Imagine going without a luxury you're accustomed to, like skipping morning coffee or taking a cold shower instead of a warm one. These minor challenges might seem trivial, but they serve a greater purpose. They're not about deprivation, but about cultivating a mindset that can withstand change and adversity without crumbling under pressure. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, often spoke of familiarizing oneself with poverty. He advocated for experiencing modest living conditions occasionally, even if only as an exercise. This practice was not to incite fear of poverty, but to remind oneself that happiness and security do not solely depend on material wealth. By choosing discomfort, we remind ourselves of our resilience and ability to thrive regardless of circumstances. So, how can facing discomfort enhance your self-confidence? It challenges the belief that comfort is synonymous with happiness and success. By proving to ourselves that we can thrive amid discomfort, we dismantle the illusion that our self-worth is tied to our external conditions. This practice teaches us that we are stronger and more adaptable than we often give ourselves credit for. As we incorporate voluntary discomfort into our lives, we begin to appreciate our capacity for resilience. Each discomfort faced is a step towards empowering ourselves against the nagging voice of the inner critic. It affirms that while discomfort is inevitable, it does not define us. Instead, it becomes a tool for personal growth and self-discovery. Reflect on this. How can you introduce voluntary discomfort into your routine to challenge your inner critic and boost your self-esteem? By consciously seeking discomfort, not only do we silence the critic, but we also pave the way for a deeper understanding of our true potential. This practice is an invitation to embrace resilience, an essential trait in the journey towards a confident and empowered self. As the sun rises on the next chapter, envision a life driven by steadfast moral principles, where personal ethics overshadow the pursuit of superficial success. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us the profound value of aligning life with a moral purpose. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "To live a good life, we have the potential for it." If we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference, this insight encourages us to focus on what truly matters, living with integrity and virtue rather than constantly seeking external validation. Picture a fireplace where the flame symbolizes your moral purpose. When it burns bright, it dispels the shadows of doubt and criticism. By keeping the focus on your core values, you harness a strength that silences the inner critic. This critic often feeds on the fear of others' opinions and societal expectations. However, when anchored in a personal ethical compass, these external noises lose their power. Picture a historical figure like Cato the Younger, a Roman Stoic who stood by his principles even in the face of immense political pressure. Cato exemplified the Stoic ideal by choosing virtue over the allure of power and wealth. He remained unwavering in his values, demonstrating that true success is defined not by material gain but by adherence to one's beliefs. His life serves as a reminder that it is the pursuit of virtue, not fortune, that leads to a fulfilled life. Defining your personal values is akin to plotting a course on a map. It requires clarity, introspection, and honesty with oneself. Start by identifying what you stand for, what resonates with you at the deepest level, and what principles you wish to uphold regardless of external circumstances. This is not a simple or quick process, but a journey that evolves and refines over time. Once these values are set, they become the guiding stars on your journey, offering direction and purpose. By aligning your actions with these values, you build a foundation of self-worth that flourishes independently of others' judgments. The inner critic, which thrives on feelings of inadequacy and external measurements of success, loses its influence when faced with the unwavering confidence that comes from living authentically. Reflect on this compelling question. In what ways can living by your moral purpose reinforce your sense of self-worth? As you contemplate this, consider how adhering to your values can transform the critic's voice into a gentle guide that encourages self-reflection and growth. This shift empowers you to lead a life that is not only meaningful but also in harmony with your true self. By prioritizing moral integrity over external validation, you invite an enduring sense of peace and confidence into your life, a testament to the enduring power of Stoic philosophy. With the next phase of our exploration in sight, let's delve into the transformative practice of cognitive distancing, a tool revered in Stoic teachings. Imagine this: you are an observer of your thoughts, watching them drift by like leaves on a stream, separating yourself from the turbulence they often cause. This practice is essential in managing the voice of the inner critic. Epictetus captured this beautifully when he said, "We are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them." This insight reveals that the power to quell the inner critic lies in how we interpret our thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. Cognitive distancing involves stepping back to view thoughts as transient opinions rather than absolute truths. By doing so, you diminish their emotional grip, silencing the persistent critic within. This shift in perspective allows you to see these thoughts for what they are: fleeting mental events that do not define who you are or determine your worth. Recognizing this distinction is crucial in breaking free from self-imposed limitations and judgments. To practice cognitive distancing, begin by identifying a recurring critical thought. It could be a doubt about your abilities or worry over external validation. Instead of engaging with it, observe it, label it as a mere opinion, an inherently biased and temporary interpretation. Acknowledge that it is just a thought, not a reflection of objective reality. This simple act of labeling creates a mental space that allows for a more rational and less emotionally charged response. Consider the Stoics, who used various techniques to address cognitive biases. They continuously challenged their assumptions, questioning the validity of their thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, for example, often wrote about examining and reframing his thinking patterns in his personal reflections, famously known as Meditations. These writings served as a reminder to approach thoughts with skepticism and objectivity, cultivating a mindset resilient to negative self-talk. Reflect on this compelling question. How does distancing yourself from your thoughts alter their influence on you? As you ponder this, recognize that the practice of cognitive distancing empowers you to transform the critic's voice from a destructive force into a constructive dialogue. By embracing this practice, you enhance your ability to lead a life aligned with your authentic self, free from the chains of unwarranted self-criticism. As we continue this journey, consider how the practice of viewing thoughts as mere opinions can create a foundation for greater self-awareness and personal growth. This change in mindset nurtures a deeper understanding of yourself, nurturing resilience against the inner critic, and allows for a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. Now turning to the liberating insight of letting go of perfectionism, imagine the relief that comes with embracing imperfection. In the pursuit of excellence, we often become our harshest critics, striving for an unreachable standard that ultimately stifles our growth and acceptance. Stoicism, however, offers a refreshing perspective on this self-imposed pressure. The Stoics understood that perfectionism is not a sign of ambition but a barrier that holds us back. Epictetus wisely noted, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig." This highlights the importance of patience and the acceptance that growth occurs over time through an accumulation of small, imperfect efforts. Recognizing that perfection is neither attainable nor necessary allows us to silence the inner critic that fixates on flaws. When we shift our focus from the unrealistic demands of perfection to appreciating progress, we begin to cultivate a more compassionate view of ourselves. This mindset fosters resilience and promotes personal development as we celebrate each step forward rather than lamenting perceived shortcomings. Marcus Aurelius, in his reflections, often acknowledged his own humanity and the imperfections that accompanied it. He did not view these as failures but as opportunities for learning and self-improvement. By accepting his limitations, he was able to grow without the burden of relentless self-criticism. This acceptance is a powerful tool in silencing the critic within and embracing a more genuine self-acceptance. To put this into practice, start by identifying an area in your life where perfectionism has taken root. It could be in your work, personal relationships, or even in your self-expectations. Instead of striving for flawlessness, allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. Recognize that each misstep provides valuable insight and growth. This approach not only reduces the inner critic's grip but also enriches your experiences, making life more fulfilling and less stressful. Reflect on this question: in what ways does perfectionism limit your growth? As you contemplate this, consider how the quest for perfection might be hindering your progress and well-being. Embrace the imperfections as markers of your journey, each one contributing to your unique path. By letting go of the need to be perfect, you empower yourself to live more fully and authentically, elevating your self-esteem and allowing your true potential to shine. With this understanding, recognize the strength in vulnerability and the beauty in imperfection, continuing our journey with renewed self-compassion and resilience. Moving forward, let's explore the Stoic principle of discipline and habit formation. Picture this: cultivating habits that align with your deepest values. This journey into creating disciplined actions is central to the Stoic way of life. It's about setting a foundation that continuously nurtures your growth, helping to silence that nagging inner critic. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasizes this concept beautifully by saying, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This quote encapsulates the essence of living with purpose and intention, forging habits that ground our self-worth and foster self-esteem. Discipline is more than a mere routine. It is the deliberate and thoughtful crafting of life choices that reflect who you want to be. Establishing these disciplined habits is like planting seeds for confidence, where each consistent action strengthens not just resolve, but also quiets the tendencies toward self-criticism. Consider the power of repetition in sculpting your character. Each act performed regularly shapes your inner landscape, preparing you to face challenges with a mind anchored in resilience rather than doubt. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, practiced this principle daily. His routines were deliberate, structured around reminders of his values and priorities. These disciplined practices helped him maintain equilibrium even amidst life's unpredictabilities. He showed that in aligning daily actions with inner values, we find a path to greater self-worth. When our habits resonate with our core beliefs, they reinforce a positive self-image that speaks louder than any inner critic. Reflect on your daily life. What habits could you cultivate to better align with your values and enhance your self-esteem? Perhaps it's committing to mindful meditation, nurturing your physical health with regular exercise, or even dedicating time to learning and self-improvement. Whatever the habit, ensure it resonates with your values, serving as a daily reminder of who you strive to be. Imagine the effect of each small, intentional step you take. As these habits take root, they provide an anchor in turbulent times, a testament to your commitment to personal growth. They allow you to meet the critic within with calm assurance, transforming fleeting doubts into opportunities for reaffirmation of your path. Through the discipline of aligning actions with intentions, you construct a narrative of self-empowerment, where resilience is built not through fleeting achievements but through consistent, value-driven efforts. In contemplating this approach, recognize the transformative power that lies in these disciplined practices. Ask yourself, what small steps can you start today that will lead you toward a more authentic expression of yourself? Let these questions guide you as you shape a lifestyle that honors your values and quiets the inner critic. With each action reinforcing your integrity, watch as your self-esteem flourishes, nourished by the steady rhythms of disciplined living. As the sun rises on the next chapter, let's weave together the threads of wisdom we've explored today. Stoicism offers more than mere philosophical musings. It provides practical tools to silence the inner critic and boost self-esteem. We've delved into how distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot, visualizing the worst to diminish fear, and accepting our imperfections can transform self-criticism into self-compassion. By embracing acceptance and loving our fate, we dismantle the grip of harsh self-judgment, freeing ourselves to lead lives of greater fulfillment. As we journeyed further, we saw how practices like journaling and detaching from opinions of others nurture inner peace. Living in accordance with nature reminds us to honor our intrinsic value. Meanwhile, gaining perspective through the view from above shifts our focus from trivial setbacks to the grand scheme of life. Each insight not only quiets the critic but also encourages growth towards a more serene existence. The discipline we cultivate through mindful habits is foundational to silencing the critic. These habits, grounded in purpose, echo our deepest values. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we learn to let go of perfectionism and embrace authenticity, fostering a resilient self-image rooted in acceptance and growth. As Marcus Aurelius so aptly put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Indeed, nurturing positive thoughts is fundamental to living a life of Stoic harmony and self-worth. Reflect now on how these principles can fit into the canvas of your life. Stoicism is not about rigid adherence to philosophy, but living with intention and grace. Imagine implementing even one of these practices daily. How might your self-esteem flourish when anchored in these ancient yet timeless teachings? Consider how each principle aligns with your personal journey. As we conclude this exploration, remember that the path to silencing the inner critic is not a sprint but a marathon. Each step you take, steeped in Stoic wisdom, is a step towards greater self-acceptance and inner peace. We invite you to embark on this journey with us, to delve deeper into Stoic teachings and share your reflections in the comments. If you found value in this discussion, subscribe to the channel for more insights and join us in fostering a community of growth and resilience. Until next time, may you find clarity and confidence in the quiet strength of Stoicism.